smart and sustainable practices, be it AI-powered equipment, circular economy model, or advanced system, address the challenges of high cost, skill gaps, and environmental impact in India's access equipment market. Let's start with Vijay Kumar sir.
Do you want do you want me to explain that where it will be used, like in productivity, in
Yes,
safety,
yes, sir.
and
Exactly.
as far as that circular concept, what I mean, what is primarily the topic of this thing? I think that is a. I mean, we have to cover a long way before we reach there, because circular means, like, it has finally come to the design part of it, and it should be visible, like, even the modular concept, like I talked about the uh, change in the product design. So I think in totality, if you look at, uh, once again I will repeat, one is the machine uptime, reduction in the maintenance cost, and the safety. These are the three things I think that is where AI is going to make a big impact. But again, the most important part is the machine has to be fitted with telematics that has a lot of uh, constraint, getting those wavelength. Like, machine also becomes a wireless equipment, right? So there are certain challenges, but yes, I think the productivity and safety, these are the two areas where AI will immensely contribute in years to come.
Thank you for sharing that, sir. Mr. Ravi Bhatia, can we have your insight on this?
Yeah, I think it's well said. Then yes, AI is the new thing, and that is something which every domain has been talking about. Since we are in safety business, for us, if AI brings more safety, it's better for both rental companies and also for the client. Equally, we would like to take the opportunity of AI to ensure that we are able to enhance our run rate, which is utilization of the machine from the rental growth model side, and also how can we use AI to optimize the cost and reduce the operational cost, which means more profit to rental companies and more top line to the rental companies.
Thank you, sir. Veer sir, can we have your insights?
Uh,
Mhm.
we have to understand what sustainable means, because look, now in sustainable, you're talking about the energy and terms of sustainable that way, or you mean by how AI is going to add
It can be
some.
anything. It can be AI-powered equipment or circular economy models or advanced systems.
Okay, so basically, look, how I see it is that AI is all about data, right? And so today AI is not making anything new. It is actually spitting out what it already knows. So that what is AI today? So AI is not agentic AI, right? It is not creating anything. It is already been fed a lot of data, and out of that data, it is actually stringing all the data together and putting it out there, right? So now we have to see that what kind of use cases this data that we have can be put together to get a conclusion on, right? So now different use cases will come up, right, in terms of our field. So let's talk about, because we are talking about AI in our field, so let us talk about that in a more deeper sense. So now in our case, what happens is that we as companies who are in the Indian terrain, we are facing as businessmen lot of different issues. Right. So say for example, for manufacturing, if we go into manufacturing, if we go into designing, we go into training, we go into so now the products that we are making, now that we have to see how can they keep getting the data into the AI, right? And then the AI will start analyzing and give us conclusions from that. Say, for example, today, when you talk about sustainable practices, so say, for example, when I am having new products that being sent to market, it has sensors in them or some kind of AI tools in them that can actually get this data and be put into a AI system who can analyze and do the coding and understand and give us some conclusions from this data. So what I would say is that going forward, the things that will be sustainable is or the things that will help us as a nation grow is by getting all this data, being innovative, investing in that, in those systems to get those data, and actually acting on the conclusions. Because what will happen is that implementing some sustainable solution or implementing something will not be the end result. It is about investing and implementing those conclusions you're getting from that AI result that you are kind of getting. So yeah, I hope I answered the question. I was a little confused about the question. It was a hard question to answer with such big words, but I hope I have tried to, at least do justice.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that explanation. Uh, and Manish, sir, you want to add something on this?
So yes, I have been hearing this discussion, and it was very interesting to hear the insights by Mr. Veer, by Mr. Avi, and Mr. Vijay. See, the thing is that what we are here, we are in a mode, or we are creating a buzz about AI, and we are having this as a benefit in each and every sector. There is no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that. But the problem, what I say, from I have worked in construction segment for say around 5 or 10 years back, and as far as I have uh, seen that industry at that time, AI was not uh, the kind of thought, even in the thought process. I mean, I'm talking about before 2012. So the moment the European standards are being followed now in India, and the adaptability after the COVID, has been changed. The priorities have been changed, because when you are concerned about the production, and when you are concerned about the limitation of manpower, so AI is definitely going to take some place. But yes, the problem, see, I'm from the organization. We have some AI tools which are doing a lot of background maintenance activities, but though we are not able to implement that in India so far, because of because of the reason that there is a limitation from the customer end as well, and because of the adaptability as well. So if I go to the entire discussion, see, what I feel is that uh, there is the data is available, but it has to be completely formatted. The data has to be a quality data. It cannot be something a raw data, which now the organizations have started thinking. Okay, now as the rental segments come up, where the question comes with how the equipment is being operated, and where the limitation when the rent is going to be charged, whether the equipment is used under the certain guidelines or not. So yes, that a question comes for a organization who's giving the equipment on the rent. So how many hours the equipment has been running, and what was the consumption of spare parts or whatever consumable are there. So that is something Mr. Avi must be knowing much better than me. So that is something, that data availability is one which we need to work out. Then we have definitely the skilled workforce which is required to implement this thing. Then cost of infrastructure, or what you can say, can be something which can be overlooked once the results are, or ROA is better. So then there is more things like regularity norms of the government, what they are thinking. Then there is a data, cybersecurity. These things are going to play a part when AI is going to be implemented. As we are discussing, like, it is not only uh, implementing it for a purpose where the life is sorted. There is going to be a uh, background process which is definitely going to be there, and it will be required to actually what we are thinking, or what we are thinking it will perceive, should go to that level only. I mean, it should not be something, the implementation is first, and then the outcome is which are not desirable. Okay? So what I feel is that industry still needs to be more matured on, the collection of data, utilization of data, and implementing in the favor of the organization in terms of ROI, or what you can say, from the safety point of view, regulation point of view. So yes, it's a now the time has started where people will be by, I think, by 2030, 35, we might be seeing some good changes in our industrial as well in other sectors. So that is something which I feel my idea about AI so far, which I feel from the industrial segment, is that the moment this activity will start, that we are collecting the data, we are securing it, we are putting it in the right place, only then you will be able to use it. And there has to be some government regulation as well. Like, for example, somebody has to share the data. I'll give you one example. A customer who is giving me the real-time data about the machinery, he has a fleet of around 50 odd number of cranes in his factory. So they have to give an undertaking to me that I'm going to use this data. Similar to that, what application we are using. For example, we are doing this Zoom call. Before Zoom call, they are asking us some data, which is that they can access this data. So now it becomes by default, because this is a small application. We are clicking OK, and you never know what data they are taking. They are taking entire contacts. They are checking whatever is there in your system. So, but the organization, when you are talking about the AI, okay, then they are sharing their entire process with you. So that education, that skill development is required. And I'm very much hopeful. I mean, know that discussion has been started. I think the industry or our country will reach somewhere in this, because in Europe, I have seen entirely it's a robotic process where the manpower cost is, when the manpower cost will come up or a pandemic situation is coming. So yes, you get into that direction. Okay, yes, now the time is coming where people will start thinking about it. But yes, as the process has been started, I think maybe by 2030, 35, we may see some great changes.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Manish,
would.
for explaining that. My next question is for Mr. Vijay Kumar sir. How is Gemini Power Hydraulic addressing concerns around data privacy and cyber security in its AI-enabled solutions for access equipment?
Yeah, I think the first, I think this is basically three questions. So first about the data security. Uh, in fact, we are the company. Uh, our all processes are automated. Our sales force, our sales force. I mean, we use CRM, that is Salesforce, that is automated. Our HR, that is again we have a package that is also automated. Apart from our emails and all, we have a lot of softwares and other things to protect it. And then second thing, what we do, especially like uh, people have, at different levels, people have different accesses, right? Like depending on your position in the organization, of course, we do not. We allow people to have the enough data to work upon, but they cannot access everything, right? So this is how the security has been set in our all CRMs, all ERPs, right? Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for sharing that insightful answer. Mr. Avi Bhatia, beyond cost efficiency, what are the lesser known benefit of the rental model that contribute to sustainability and project flexibility in India's construction sector?
See, there are different models which are not being heard in India. Okay, one of them is a shared fleet model, which is very common in Europe and US, where multiple people use their capex and they use the fleet on a share model. This way, the utilization is at the best. And some people call it a JIT model, like a just-in-time model, wherein you, me, or different companies pool in together and they plan a bigger capex and they have the right solutions to offer to the industry. So that is talking to your first question. And I think the second question was about the project flexibility. So are
Yes, sir.
we talking in regards to the AI, what kind of contribution AI can bring to the project flexibility? Is that what we are discussing about? Okay. So I think with AI coming in, it will also give confidence to both the rental companies and the companies who are actually renting the products. And that's when the dry lease concept is viable for Indian economy. Because if I am owning an asset which is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, I don't want to put that asset in somebody's else custody because I don't know if they really know how to use the product or not. With AI, A lot of things can track. And the best part is preventive maintenance, which is big time missing with most of the rental companies because we really don't follow that,
Sir,
right?
we
We are
cannot hear your voice
using the
clearly.
data analytics and we know the right preventive maintenance
Hello, sir. Sorry to
required,
interrupt,
and
but
therefore our machines would always be in a healthy condition. And this is going to give confidence to clients to kind of use the machine. This is another flexible model which we are bringing on table by usage of AI. And I am a strong believer that India's growth story can only be there if we have two models. One is a shared fleet model, where I need to have confidence that Mr. Mahesh will use my product the way I am using it. And likewise, a dry lease model, which is subject to the client side, where client and me have equal confidence of using the product, whether it is in my custody or their custody. And this will definitely reduce a lot of challenges for rental companies which they have as of today. And again, this is directly linked to the revenue because sometimes your machines are available at the site. For a customer, for that small equipment, a big cost is the crane cost, the labor cost, which is waiting because there is no platform available for them to reach out to the heights. And for us, the downtime is already started because there is no operator to operate the machine. And we cannot charge our client in spite of my machine being in the right condition, with the right health, with the right PDIs in place. So it is a win-win for both us and for the projects.
thank you, sir. My next question is for Manish Razdan, sir. Policy framework or government initiative do you believe are the most critical to accelerate the transition towards a more sustainable and technologically advanced heavy equipment sector in India?
First of all, see, if I see the government regulation towards AI is so far not there. As far as I'm reading it, AI is being implemented, but there is so far still there are some data protection laws which I can see that still, because see, things are not in a stage where it are in this, uh, these are all in discussion. So government is having a framework which they have to decide while going towards this AI 100% implementation of AI. As you see in India, if you talk about our, as Mr. Avi has told just in time, very few organization must be having. And I have not seen personally. I have not seen it in India. I have not seen them. And if I talk about the SAP or CRM, different type of tools, they are all live tools. See what happens when something is happening. AI, what does AI do basically? Is that it is real time monitoring everything. For example, there's a production. The production is linked through SAP. Sales activity is linked through SAP. Whatever I do, whatever I type, has to be in sync. So the server sees everything. So government doesn't have as such any part to play in it. It is an organizational activity as of now. So the government does not have some kind of regulation or framework. Okay, you have to implement this thing, or you have to go this way if you are going to implement AI. Yes, they have their framework for their own organization. For example, if I talk about serious defense, I don't know whether DRDOs are having such kind of factories where these kind of implementations are there. I haven't seen because I don't have much of the interaction with DRDOs or railways, what you can say, and the railway workshops are there, railway coach factories are there. So government does not have any such thing so far as I can see in the news or anywhere, whatever I have searched so far about AI. Maybe other members who are present can throw some light on that. But I haven't seen the government regulation about AI is much clear because if you talk about Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023, something which it has been started. Okay. So as I see, when you are working on the when you're working on the AI, you have to work on the cloud structure as well. Cloud is something, as you know, that it is something you are giving entire data to the server which is maintaining it. But I haven't seen any kind of government coming up into this thing because it's so much private as of now. Government has no, as far as my knowledge is, maybe other members can throw some light on it.
No,
From
no,
my side,
I think what Mr. Razdan has said, I am absolutely in sync with him. Like when you talk about AI in excess, the irony is there is no government of India guidelines for working at height itself. And in
yes.
fact, that is hindering the whole growth of this market. Tomorrow, if government comes with a legislation, like if you go to Europe, you cannot you cannot work at a height beyond 2 meter or 2.5 meter without any suitable access equipment or suitable protection. And if there is an accident, there is such a heavy penalties imposed by the courts that everybody buys it. So of course, I think for a such a big country like India, I think government has to come up with something very concrete. In some field, they have come up, and the results were very exemplary. Right? Yeah. So I'm just absolutely in sync with Mr. Razdan.
I would like to
Mr.
add to Mr.
Yeah,
Vijay here.
sure.
We say government is not doing this, government is not doing that, but we have a National Safety Council of India. And I'm sorry to say, but none of the rental companies equally, none of the big customers like L&T, or Reliance Adani have tried to convince National Council of India to bring such kind of legislations in place. I hope with these kind of calls and with these kind of platforms, you could tweet because our government is very strong on Twitter, on X platform, on Facebook, etc. I mean, if they can safeguard people sitting just by posting on X, I'm sure if they could hear you out, that the kind of policies which are required are not going to be drafted by rental companies or speakers sitting here. It has to be from National Council of India. And they need to justify what is the right height at what they want AWP platforms to be used as job sites. Forget about the small construction. Let's first secure our job site. When we say make in India, do we want to do that practice in an unsafer environment, especially with our youth, or we want to offer them an environment which is healthy and they don't fear to work on heights?
What I want to add in it, if you see the recent incidents of Air India 171, right, Boeing 787, if you see, the if I see 3,000, I think the cost of aircraft is not less than around the 3,000 CR, something like. If I'm not wrong, there is some battery issue. Maybe I'm facing some. Okay. So see, it means that like the safety norms of India, like the most critical safety norms are followed in our aviation industries. Okay. See, the government has a role to play. But thing is that when the guidelines come to the, or some frameworks are made, so how actively the customers are using it, how actively the user is going to use it, that is a point of concern right now. As of now, if I consider the current scenario of India, to be very clear, like people right now in our country, the guidelines are there chalked out for safety or, the penalty of, uh, causing any accident, but somehow those are not implemented as they are supposed to be. So yes, of course, these are things which are required in coming times, and such kind of discussion should happen at a bigger network to get things into the correct place. Safety is one of the important factor, and we have a serious incidents happened few weeks back only, and you can see it's a big thing. This is a Dreamliner. This is a flight which has traveled more than 10 years, and still this accident happens. And we are in a very advanced level in terms of AI. If the even if the Boeing is considered. So what Boeing was doing when this incident happened, was there no such kind of real-time simulation or not happened? It has happened. It is there. It is very much there. So I am trying to tell you, I'm not blaming anybody, but see the implementation and talking about big things, okay, and the ROIs and everything. implementation and the pace for that implementation is very. That's what my entire thought process is. It and it will take. I'll say it will take. It has started. It will take till 2035. It will take this amount of time at least. People have started working on it now, and maybe the guidelines may come from the government as well. We never know what is the next step they are going to take, because India is moving towards the different zone altogether. We are now not the same country which we were 10 years back. We are a different country. We are competing with Europeans now. So I feel that there is going to be a change, but change has to be started from the customer. If customer demands, see, Mr. Bhatia is giving rental business, and Mr. Vijay Kumar is also having such kind of business. I am also having a AI-driven tool with me. But what if the customer, if I give him the AI tool or say, tell them, okay, you can do the condition monitoring of the product, and what if the data is not being used by the end user? You cannot help. You can provide, but you cannot force them. So there are certain things which has to be reshaped or put into the actual what we call in Urdu we call it as amli jama. We call it as the amli jama, means that we have a product, but we have to pack it so that it can be used properly.
Thank you, panelists, for sharing your thoughts on this. I have
thank
one more question for Mr. Maneesh Razdan. With regard to the integration of AI and smart technologies, how do you envision these technologies transforming the overall project management and operational workflow on large-scale construction sites?
Oh, it's going to do the wonders. If I talk about if it is really put into the action, AI and smart technology. See, for example, a project is nowadays the projects are mostly human driven. Okay, so straight from the scratch to to till its completion, it's totally manual. What you can say manual is today, if we are operating on the laptop, I call it a manual activity. If we are drafting something or we are doing an AutoCAD, I call it manual today, because the kind of technology we are having. Once you are having the AI and smart technology, your projects will pick up like anything. The accuracy will be better. But only problem is that you have to synchronize the data. First of all, you have to have the data, you have to feed it into the system so that the errors are regulated or recovered before it happens. Okay? So yes, it's a good idea. It's a definitely good idea. But where do we stand in actual scenario? Have we recorded any data? We are talking about AI, but if you talk about any construction industry, or if you talk about any industry who are using the equipment, have they made any data even in the Excel about the crane failure, about the spare part management, about the operator accidents, about the operator downtime? What was the reason of so this is the data which we need to collect first. AI and smart, see, if when you are using AI, it is something you are putting, see, for example, I tell you, today you are using Chat GPT. Okay, if you have it, or you are using, there are a lot of tools. Microsoft has also given Copilot. Okay, you type something and you give a lot of information. For example, you have to search the same information through books. It will take you roughly around, for a single information, it will take you 10 to 15 days, which you are now getting in hardly a click of a button. So that's what AI will do. But the same thing is that AI can also create a problem for you, because AI is something which is recording, monitoring, looking at you 24/7. So we have to.
Technical error from Manish's side. So let's move on to our next question. Vijay sir, hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
What specific training initiatives or skill development programs do you believe are essential to prepare the Indian workforce for operating and maintaining AI integrated access equipment?
I think the question has two parts. One is the training part, and second is the
Skill development.
implementation of AI. Right. So, of course, as far as training is concerned, I think I mean It can have a classroom training. It could be on-site training. It could be on machine training. As far as training is concerned, especially coming to the operation part, I think there are some simulators, like there are simulators like even very much similar to what was there earlier only in aircraft industry, like all these fighter planes and other things. They are first flown by pilot by simulator, right? Like they can see how the plane is flying. It's not real time. It is something sitting in a laboratory, and he is operating that. So some work was done initially. I think maybe 5 6 year back I have come across some cases where simulators were being used in the training of the operators. So I think that is one area where using, because see, the what is the benefit of AI and why it has become more important? Because the cloud has the ability to mine so big data so quickly, right? And it can analyze, it can give the conclusion. It is not that in preventive maintenance it was not there. Even I think during Caterpillar time, also in my previous stint, like by finding that what is the bronze content in aisle, it will tell you that when it can be replaced, when it should be replaced. It was not AI. They have, that a package called that service information systems, SIS they call it, then the conditional monitoring. So it was there, but it was, I mean, that time cloud was not there. That time telematics was not there. The integration of machine with net was not possible, which is possible. So today, even 10,000 datas, 1 lakh data, or maybe even more. I mean, now the AI has that capability to mine that much of the data, right? And so now we have enough that it can be used. Yes.
Thank you, sir. My next question is for Avi Bhatia. How do you see the rental model evolving to support smaller contractors or those in remote areas, enabling them to access advanced and sustainable equipment?
Okay. I think that's a good question because right now, if you see the kind, I thought somebody would highlight this because if you see the real business model now in India is drifting from the big metros, and even the government is parking money in the small pockets. UP, Bihar, Northeast is a perfect example. And I believe there is a huge opportunity in Northeast. RentEase personally has started a yard in Calcutta, and this was a very bold decision with an investment of around 2 million euro. And we have got a great result in the eastern part of India, which is always considered as an underdog when we discuss on an Indian economy front. Today, the business will change its dynamics. There will be a definite drift in AWP industry from the big metros, and the control will shift to the smaller pockets. We need to be prepared today, and this will require a big planning. It will require support system, and we also need to educate the upcoming contractors, which will happen only by training them, by offering them the free services or offering them the free demonstrations, and let them feel the safety which these kind of equipments will bring on table, the kind of productivity enhancement that they would see after using such products. And I this is something that's happening tomorrow. In this, OEMs have to come forward. The big development that happened. What I'm trying to say is that with the big players coming in India, and especially JCB coming in the business, will be a great show for Indian economy, and they will ensure that AWP subject is known to the small pockets because JCB is fairly positioned in the smaller pockets. And if you really see 20 years before, owning a JCB machine used to be a privilege, and calling a JCB machine to your vicinity, would be something which not many people would have experienced. But today, it's a call away. I mean, somebody who's buying a house in small pocket, which is worth 10 lakh rupees, still he goes for a JCB to erect 10 or 12 column. That's the change which you will see in AWP industry. So my strong belief is the business lies in small pockets, It's about the big rental companies to think how to go about it. And trust me, you have better utilization, you have better financial utilization, and the people are still willing to take the new opportunities in small pockets. It's just about us educating them.
Thank you,
I
Mr.
think
Bhatia.
just to add what Mr. Bhatia has said, that when JCB came with a Scots, as a Scott JCB, and it was seen as a threat to the labors. And there have been cases where the stones were pelted on JCBs, contractors have to run away with their machines, with their fleet. And nobody could believe that time that this can grow into 35,000 units per year. Of course, JCB users in India is not technically right in 80% of the cases, but commercially it is viable because the cost of an excavator may be 2.5 to 3 times. So that is one of the reason why JCB India is bigger than JCB UK, right? So just to tell that this is how it was perceived at a certain time. When the stones were being pelted, it was really seen as a threat, right? But change has happened, and now you can see it all across. Yeah, yes, Mr. Mahesh.
Thank you to all our panelists for sharing this enriching discussion.